Ahmed, how are you doing? It's Dean here from Cube Digital Media. So we spoke to each other on LinkedIn, and as promised, what I'm going to do for yourself today is basically do a brief overview of your online marketing with regards to social media and your website. Give you some of my thoughts, my ideas, and what you can do in order to attract new clients into the business, and some of the things which we have worked with some professional services firms here in the UK as well. So to begin with, what I've done, Ahmed, is I've done a quick SEO analysis of your website. That was very important that I've done that just to find out the current state of your website and basically the technicals behind it. The actual layout of your website is really nice. I must admit the design's really good, so kudos for that. What I would be looking at though just now from on screen, as you can see here, is basically the background behind that and how solid that is. And the SEO basically means how are people finding you when they're looking for your services. Okay, so what we'll do is it can get a little bit technical, but it's important that we cover this off just now. And what you can do is, if you need to get this fixed, if you have a web developer, give it to them. If not, if you want us to help you with that, we can do that as well for you. So to begin with, as you can see here, here's your website, and a green tick means it's fantastic, everything's good. The triangle means there's an area for improvement, and any critical issues are in red here, which we'll go over. So areas for improvement, first of all, you've got your page load time that needs to be improved. Now, one of the reasons why that's quite important is that Google are ranking your websites these days according to how fast it loads. So let's say, for example, a customer searching for your service, they're on their phone or they're on their laptop, and it takes more than 3 seconds to load. What tends to happen is there's a much higher chance they've got a bounce rate, which means they come to the website, it doesn't load, and they go away. So that's essentially negatively affecting you on your Google ranking. So you might be the perfect fit for one of your clients, but it means that Google are penalizing you for that, so you're not getting maybe as much traffic into the website as possible. And the reason it's important to fix all of this is because some of the social media marketing things which we'll discuss, there's no point in doing that if when they come to your website the page isn't loading fast enough. So these are kind of the basic things we'd look to get fixed. Secondly, content needs optimized. And this is something that we will discuss a bit further. Essentially, when it comes to content, one of the major ways in which you can attract new clients into your business, Ahmed, is by basically providing quality and relevant content to your audience. So let's say, for example, you're in auditing or in accounting. What I would recommend you do is basically come up with a blog, okay? And this blog essentially answers the most pressing questions which your current clients have. So let's say, for example, I'm a business owner. I'm looking for a new accounting firm to do my auditing for me. It might be, for example, I might have a question of what are the top 5 criteria I should look for in an auditing firm. So you can basically answer that question in depth. You don't have to necessarily do it yourself. You can come to us, we can do that for you, we can get that outsourced for you to ourselves. And you answer the questions, and what that does is it makes your website an authority with regards to that specific niche. So anyone who's searching for that key term, you'll come up with a quality blog and they'll be directed to your website, and there's a picture of you, there's some information about your company, and you're answering their core questions, and then we'll ask them for their information, their email address, and that's a solid lead for you. So that's the kind of thing we'd look to do when it comes to a blog. Now the blog can be put on your LinkedIn as well, it can be put on your social media, which we'll come to in a second and discuss as well. But content in this day and age is incredibly important. Now just to go back a second to your website, you do have a lot of information on it about your specific services, which is fantastic. But ideally what you should be doing, as you can see here, there's not much content in terms of providing value to the actual end client before they come to you and make a purchase from you, or before they come and use you. It basically builds up trust with your client. Okay, so that's why it's very important. So the third thing is the Google Webmaster Tools. That's incredibly important. We can get that, and the footer needs optimized as well. Now this is maybe a little bit technical, the footer, the header, etc. It basically means that Google's penalizing you if this little triangle's here. So ideally get that fixed ASAP. As I said, if you want to come to us, fantastic. If you've got something to do that, great as well. Now, you do have some critical issues here, as we can see. So you've got no robots, TXT file, no sitemap, your page doesn't have a title, your headings can be optimized further. So basically, I mean, these are things which have to be essentially robust on your website, just so your customers can find you. And not only find you, you want your customers to basically trust the website which they're coming to, and this will help with page load times as well. So that's why it's very important. So as you can see here, Google page speed is very low. Okay, now you don't have a Facebook account and no Twitter account. We'll come to that in a little second. And as you can see here, the robots, there's an issue with that there. Your headings, there's no headings found, which is penalizing you again. You don't have any titles, your characters aren't right, your description's not there. You need 150 to 160 keywords. Once again, I'm going over this quite fast because I know it might be nothing to you, but it is important to get it fixed. And once again, there's no blog. A blog essentially is quite essential these days, and the content as well needs optimized. Okay, and you don't have Google Analytics, and one of the reasons why you need Google Analytics is that we can see who comes to your website, what are their demographics, are they male, are they female, are they in a specific range, are they coming from, let's say it's Abu Dhabi, are they coming, maybe a lot of your clients might be searching you in Dubai, maybe Sharjah. It really just depends on where you are, and it means we can find what your bounce rate is, how many customers are coming to your website and leaving straight away, how many visitors are you getting a month, where are those visitors coming from, and we can basically track all that through analytics, which is why your Google Analytics it's very important we get that up to speed with yourself. Okay, so I've done the SEO analysis basically to give you a rundown because there were some pressing points on your website. Now hopefully you can get that fixed ASAP. If it's with us, fantastic, or if you want to take that to your current web developer, fair enough. Now, what we've got here just now is obviously your website. Now, we mentioned blogs, and one of the reasons why they're very important because it makes you an authoritative figure. Now, you can post those blogs to your website so that anyone searching for the key terms, they come straight to your website and they find you, and it might be something very pressing. It might be, for example, the 5% VAT tax which was introduced in the UAE. You might be like, do you know something? I'm going to write 10 different blog posts covering all the different questions which some of my clients have, and you become an authority straight away. Okay, now it's very good on your website. You do have a picture of yourself somewhere along with one of your colleagues, which is fantastic. It really depends on the look you're going for your website. Just now it's very corporate. Maybe you're going for the bigger firms, which is fantastic. So it really just depends. Like this guy here, the stock image photo. Usually we would recommend our clients to make it a bit more personalized. So put yourself across so people know who they're dealing with, because anyone can really throw up these kind of corporate websites. What's a bit what's less out there these days is basically a bit more personalization, so we'd recommend that as well. Now, when it comes to the good stuff such as marketing, okay, this is obviously what the main crust of it's all about. So first of all, we've got your blogs, which we discussed. Okay, now that's organic traffic. Another way in which you can drive traffic is through pay-per-click. Okay, now pay-per-click basically means targeting keywords which your customers are searching, very similar to your blog, except with your blog you're answering a question. So PPC is one road to go down, okay, and we'll keep that in back burner just now because we can run with that. The other one was Facebook and also Twitter, and you've got Instagram. Now, one of the reasons Facebook is important is because 99% of all your customers, whether they're a corporate, whether they're a SME, whether they're a sole trader, they're probably going to be on Facebook. Okay. Now, what we can do is we can drive traffic to your business through blogs, through PPC, which is fantastic. We can then capture their information. Okay. So let's say we get their email address, or even if we don't, what we can do is we can essentially retarget them on Facebook. So let's say, for example, I'm a client and I've got a question about VAT 5%, the tax that came out, and what to do with that in my business. I Google it, I come to your website, I say, okay, fantastic, answered my question. What we can then do is basically advertise to them on Facebook, okay, because we can basically install a bit of code on your website, and then we can follow them to Facebook, and we can put an ad in front saying, hey, you obviously had questions about VAT, why don't you schedule a consultation with us? And that makes the traffic, for example, that they're very interested in your product or service because they physically went out there and searched it. You've answered the question with your face next to it, so you've built up trust and rapport, and then you're hitting them on Facebook as well. So that's a fantastic way to generate new clients. That's just through Facebook. Okay, and what you can do in Facebook as well is essentially come up with a business page, and you can once again post your blog there. You can post content there because your target market will be there. It might be a bit informal. You may say, well, I'm looking at business people, but you've got to go to where your customers are essentially. So we've seen some great success with retargeting them on Facebook. The same can be said with Instagram as well. Okay, so you can basically retarget the same people on Instagram. So let's say they're flicking through their Instagram and you get an ad from yourself because they know, like, and trust you. And that's what it really comes down to in professional services industries like yourself. Okay. someone's not going to, say, okay, take care of my auditing or take care of my accounting without them knowing you, liking you, and trusting you. And with social media, we use Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn to get the client to know, like, and trust you. Okay, let's say, for example, they're going to choose between you or someone else, a different accounting firm, and they've seen you, you've answered their question, they've seen your face, you've provided a blog content, you've hit them on Facebook, you've got a consultation with them, as opposed to them going to another generic website, similar to your kind of website, where it's got generic stock photos and they're saying, yeah, these are the services we offer. So you're going to be head and shoulders above your competition when it comes to using the likes of Facebook. So as I say, that was a brief overview in terms of what services we provide. So we're looking at Facebook, retargeting on that, coming up with blogs to answer the questions, fixing your SEO on the website first of all, making some tweaks. Now, as you can see in your website here, what we would look to be doing is putting a chat box directly. Now, you do have your email address down here, fantastic, that's imperative, and you do have a contact us up here, but what if you had a little pop-out box down here which says, hello, how you doing, any questions, just chat, almost like a Facebook Messenger chat box. So it can come to your phone, it can come to your assistant's phone, and it just basically, once again, puts that interaction up and you can ask them questions, because a lot of people come to your website and they leave within a couple of minutes. But if you say to them, hey, how can I help you? What are you looking for? And then you're interacting with them, all of a sudden you've got a lead. So that's the way that we use digital marketing in order to essentially enhance your brand and get your brand out there as well. So I understand maybe that's a lot to cover just now. The next step to this, Ahmed, if you like what I've said, is basically to jump on a Skype call with myself, consultation, and find out, ask you a few more questions about what is it that you want, what kind of clients are you after? Are you looking for one client a month? Are you looking for 5 clients a month? So this was a very high level overview which I've done just now. The next stage will be finding out a little bit more about what your needs are, what kind of clientele are you going after, and obviously what you've thought of what I've said. So Ahmed, I hope that's been helpful to yourself. Get back in touch with me, let me know what you think, and I'll hopefully speak to you soon.